talk about the New York Football Giants. I don't know that we need to spend a lot of time on this because I've listened to every other podcast, video, whatever, breaking this shit down. A lot of people are saying this is on par with Miracle at the Meadowlands 1 and 2. Ooh, I think if there was a ranking of the three, this would come in at third. Mostly because Miracle at the Meadowlands 2, at least for me, I didn't see 1. It was also Pisarcik era, late 70s. We sucked anyway. Whatever. The Miracle at the Meadowlands 2 was a dagger. So I put that actually 1. And then Miracle at the Meadowlands 1, number 2. But this one is a probably a distant third. Way more unlikely because the other two were just a play. It was like, oh, fumble, game over. Like so sudden, punt return, game over. This one was a series of plays that were just like improbable. And so I guess maybe if you want to make the argument that was like, that's what puts it on par with those two other plays, and allowed, granted. Teams combined for 24 points, highest total in an NFL game since October 1998. 15 first half punts, the most in an NFL game since 81. Converted only 4 of 34 third down opportunities between the two teams. 0 of 18 in the first half. First time since 2009. We were up 10-7. 3rd and 3 at the Jets' 19-yard line with 1:14 remaining. Jets without any timeouts. Literally 99% predicted win. Probability of a win. 99% probability of a friggin' win. So yeah, I would say in terms of probabilities swinging the other ways, then yeah, maybe this is one of the worst. Maybe I'm just in shock. I think that might be it. Maybe I'm just in shock where it's just like, especially after, if we didn't have the season that we're having right now, I think it'd have more of a profound effect on me and impact. But seeing what I've seen this season, it's just like, we've been making history every week, dude. Just add it to the list. I guess the defense, played, I've said this now every week for the past 3 weeks. It's best game of the season. Like, I feel like this game, they played better than they did against Washington than they did against Buffalo, But again, it came down to literally 1, 2, 3 plays out of how many? 3 plays, right? It's the Kayvon offsides, Adoree pass interference, and one more if you want to. Again, I think it was Adoree getting roasted. But other than that, they played their fucking balls off. Jets weren't doing anything other than the Breece Hall friggin' screen that went for 50 yards for a touchdown. It's like there's a mind wipe in the middle of a play every week for this Giants defense. Against Seattle was Noah Fant taking a tight end whatever screen and going 50 some odd yards untouched pretty much until Isaiah Simmons chased him down. And then you had and then Breece Hall catches a screen that's like, no way this is going anywhere more than 5-10 yards maximum, and it goes to the house. Like, and you watch guys react to it, and you're like, where is it? Where is everyone? A, B, where is the line of it? Like, where's the pursuit angles? Where's the aggression, the assertion? Where's attacking the football, attacking the runner? It's just like it's like they kind of power down for a play or something. I don't know. Thibodeau is a beast, No, I don't think anyone can really call him bust anymore, right? Not that I was. I said on pace to be, and he's really stepped it up to the point where he's now among the best in the league. 3 sacks, 91 PFF grade, career high. He now has 8.5 sacks in his last 6 games. He personally held the Jets. No, the defense held the Jets without a third down conversion on the first 12 attempts. They rushed for 58 yards, the lowest total by a Giants opponent in Brian Daboll's 2 seasons as head coach, holding Breece Hall to 17 yards and 12 carries, which is outstanding. Bobby Okereke led the Giants tackles for the 5th consecutive game with 7 solo, 9 total. And Dexter Lawrence had the most pressures in a single game in the PFF era with 15. That's the highest since J.J. Watt did it in 2014. It's also tied for the most in a game this season. Oh, that's next-gen stats, whatever. Over the last 3 weeks, the Giants' defense in the first half of games is by far the best unit in the league. In quarters 1 through 4 plus overtime, they are still second in expected play, EPA divided by play allowed. It's an unreal stretch. So literally, the experts have done the math. Mathematicians have returned from their respite, right, and from their quarters, and have told us that if the Giants' offense had just performed, like if they were just ranked 25th in the league in most metrics categories, we'd be 3-0 in that stretch. Instead, we're 1-2, and we could have been 0-3. You know, so it sucks wasting that kind of opportunity. It feels a lot like like I think Big Blue VCR pointed this out. It feels a lot like the mid 90s Giants, like 95, 96, where it's like we have a really good defense. Like, and I know we're not top 10 in the defense just yet. And now with Leonard Williams' departure, it probably won't get there, but those mid 90s Giants defenses, 93 to 99, we always had a good defense pretty much all those years. Spearheaded by, Strahan and Armstead, Seahorn. So feels like we're like back in that era again where the offense is pretty much one dimensional. Back then it was Rodney Hampton. Now it's Saquon Barkley. But goddamn, defense is doing everything they can do. It's literally the offense and special teams. If we got literally anything out of those friggin' 2 units over the past 3 weeks, we'd be 3-0 over that stretch. And we would be 5-3 right now. No. Yeah. We could be 5-3 right now. Think about that. Except we're 2-6. And looking real grim. So the offense did not convert a third down in our first 10 attempts. Tyrod suffered the rib injury with almost 7 minutes left in the first half. So Tommy DeVito played almost 3 quarters. He became the first undrafted rookie to throw a pass for the Giants in a regular season non-strike game in the common draft era, which began in 1967. Was also the first such quarterback to score a touchdown when he reached the end zone on a 6-yard run in the third quarter, the Giants' only touchdown. What a call, what a play. Option RPO, and he keeps for the touchdown, and nobody, including the Jets, saw that coming. And that was like one tweet for the day. What a call, what a pull, to see that and pull it and score. So good for Tommy DeVito. The Giants finished with -9 net passing yards, which is the fewest in franchise history. Previous low was -6 at Chicago on January 2nd, 2022. That was when Mike Glennon was piloting the ship. I mean, pirated my happiness, okay? He stole it. It's the fewest net passing yards for a team in an overtime game in NFL history. I feel like I'm saying every week I'm coming up, there's a new ridiculous record being set or broken by this fucking team, and they're 2-6. So you can imagine what the records are all about. Okay. DeVito's rushing touchdown was the Giants' first second half touchdown since Matt Breida's 8-yard scoring run in San Francisco on September 21st. Ooh. Barkley eclipsed 100 rushing yards for the first time this season. He finished with 128 yards on 36 attempts, which is the most of his career. He carried the ball 35 times versus Houston in week 10 of last season. And if you remember in my Jets preview from last week, I said, we're going to see Saquon carry the ball as much as he did against Houston. And in fact, he carried it more. So I was kind of half joking, but I was like, wow, I was right on the friggin' money. 112 of his 128 rushing yards came after contact. So let's not go out there thinking like, oh, the offensive line has been healed and it's completely repaired and recovered and like back on the regular. No, I mean there was some shots from the all 22 where like there's a dude in the backfield, shakes him, spins, jukes, like you I guess you almost kind of take for granted what he does on a carry by carry basis just to get positive yards or to avoid negative chunk yards. So what's wild is that this is Barkley's 17th career 100-yard game, and the Giants are 9-8 in those games. So yet again, it's another reason for all those people who said we never should have drafted Saquon Barkley at number 2, and that we should not even think about signing him to an extension. We shouldn't have put the franchise tag on him. We should have traded him. I mean, that kind of favors that argument pretty big time. That even when he's balling out and he's doing his best and putting up, career best, single game, whatever, we're still like almost a 500 team. It's tough to swallow. Again, I'd love to see him to be a Giant for life. Fuck yeah. But I also want to see him succeed and be productive and get the kind of, I know, who was it? Howard Cross or Carl Banks was saying that he wants to have a legacy like Barry Sanders. And I really, really admire that because I fucking love Barry Sanders and I love what he means to Detroit and to the Lions organization. I'll watch Barry Sanders highlights no matter what, no matter when. So I would love that for him, but the also like not ever winning a Super Bowl, not getting too far into the postseason and stuff. So the 203 rushing yards was the highest total since we had 217 in our win against the Colts on New Year's Day of this year. Special teams sucked. We had 13 punts, which is our highest total since 97 when we had a 7-7 tie with Washington. That's when Gus Frerotte headbutted the wall, hurt himself. What a ridiculous game that was. What a ridiculous season that was. And then our boy that we signed recently from the Steelers, Gunnar Olszewski, had 6 punt returns for 56 yards, which is an average of 9.3 per turn. He had a long 15 yards. Mwah! I mean, that's like, we would just settle for you to fair catch the ball and not muff it. So the fact that you were able to like actually catch it and return it for positive yardage, hell yeah. And then it was crazy. I saw he got cut on Monday and I was like, what are we doing? But I guess it's like, this is where I can't process like all the ins and outs of like NFL procedures and policies and transactions, but like they cut him so that he would go to the practice squad so they could elevate Tommy DeVito to the active roster. And then they're going to elevate him to the active. I don't know. I think he's still a Giant, even though he was cut. Graham Gano, who is still in uniform and still playing for some reason, missed 2 field goal attempts from 47-35, both wide left. So, yeah, there's a lot. There have been a lot of things this season that make you question the coaching staff and the administration, the front office, for their decision making, and there's plenty of things to point to. If we win these games, maybe we overlook them and we gloss over them and we don't like point them out. But because we are losing, they are flashing in big, bold, bright lights. Why is Gano still kicking? He's hurt. Get him surgery. Put him on IR, get him the surgery, and sign someone else that can make a 35-yard field goal, can make a 47-yard field goal. And I know that maybe there are still a lot of guys that are not signed right now on their couch that probably missed the 47-yarder, but the 35-yarder, come on now. That being said, I mean, even on the 35-yarder, Will McDonald like leapfrogged over our line, and if Gano kicks it straight, it's probably blocked. So I don't know, it's probably blocked anyway. Our special teams is such a joke and shit show that it's cost us several games this year, and it's shocking that the coach is still has a position in the organization. I'll say that. A lot of people are going nuts about Tommy DeVito not being allowed to throw the ball. And I have a tendency I'm not going to go nuts about it because I get it. Like Tyrod Taylor wasn't successful either. So it's like, why push it? And if the run is working, like that's what, I was watching at Dive Bar with a friend and I was like, this is the most impressive shit I've ever seen in my life. The Giants are not throwing the ball. The Jets know they're not going to throw the ball. And the Giants are still picking up positive yardage on runs. Obviously the Jets aided a lot of those drives with penalties. But the fact that it was just such a fucking gritty, gutsy performance from the offense that like we're gonna run the ball and we're still gonna get positive yardage enough to not lose the game. So, but yeah, I don't know why Gano. I like just get him the surgery. He says he needs surgery. Get him the surgery. It's obvious that he's not himself. He's hit only 11 of 17 this year. I mean, we call this guy Mr. Automatic. This guy has crushed a record number of 50-yard plus field goals for the franchise. Probably might go down as like one of the best kicker, if not the best kicker we've ever had over, not just single season, but like over the course of their career. Getting the surgery. Like, I know he just signed the contract extension, and like, if you're really worried about the optics or like how that's going to look that we just signed him to the need surgery, like, come on, let's get over it. Get over it. It's costing us games. Big time. Not just him, but like the whole special teams unit. I mean, they're just so bad. So bad. So, Kayvon going off sides, that stops the clock. There plenty of replays online, really low grade, low quality replays online are showing that like he timed it pretty well. Like, I don't know what the exact rule is, but he timed that fairly well, and I could see them very well not calling that. So crazy. It's just really if this, if that, like, if Saquon picks up the first down, 3rd and 3, right? Game over. If Gano hits the field goal, game over. If Kayvon doesn't go off sides, game over. If there's also the controversy around the Jet Center placing the ball when the referee is supposed to place the ball. That's legal. But now people are saying, well, the ref came in, touched the ball, and when you tap the ball, that's a placement, and so that makes it legal. I don't freaking know, dude. Point is, we shouldn't be in that situation. The defense balled out all fucking game with the exception of one Breece Hall play. Deontay Banks was not his usual shutdown self. Garrett Wilson had some like 7 catches, 100 yards. So it's not like we didn't let up some plays, but like we weren't giving up plays like we were in the past. On the last 2 Jets drives, 24 seconds left, and just like big gash explosive play back to back. That just didn't happen for the first 59 minutes and 36 seconds. And then it happens in 2 consecutive drives where it's just big gash play. So, and then in overtime, like, should we have accepted the ball knowing that we had a quarterback who they refused to throw down the field with? Interesting. Why not defer and have your defense go out there and continue to crush, and then you likely get better field position, and then you just do this whole. I mean, that was the game, right? That's what the Jets were doing. Was they had Morstead just fucking pin us at the 3. We go 3 and out, and then they get the ball at like the 50. And luckily, our defense was able to, withstand the barrage. But that was how the Jets were winning, was through just backing us up and knowing that they would get the ball in more advantageous field position, but not really able to do anything with it. So I guess it's starting to sink in. Like, yeah, that's one of the worst losses in franchise history. It just takes a while, I mean, I basically, like, after Gano misses that field goal, I think I went and took a piss for like 5 minutes straight. And so I missed a lot of the final shenanigans. Because I knew and as soon as Gano lined up for that field goal too, I was like, I have bad vibes. I turned to my friend, I was like, I have bad vibes. Like, this is not, there's no shot he makes this kick. Like, I think something really bad is going to happen. I honestly thought, and it almost did happen, where Jets would block it and return it for a touchdown. It's like game over. That might surpass Miracle at the Meadowlands 1 and 2 for sure. So yeah, I was like, I have bad vibes. I did not feel good about it. And then he missed it wide left, and I was just like, gonna go up and take a piss. And then I come back and it's like, oh, the Jets are in field goal position. They're about to tie the game. Cool. Greg Zuerlein kicked a 35-yard field goal to tie the game as time expired in the 4th quarter, and a 33-yarder with 3:51 elapsed to win the game in overtime. Yeah, they snapped the ball with 1 second left to spike it for that field goal attempt. I think that play started with 16 seconds left, 16 or 17 seconds left, I think. And the fact that they were able to complete that pass all the way down the field, run up and spike the ball with 1 second makes our 3rd and 1 failed run attempt, 3rd and goal failed run attempt in Buffalo look that much more disastrous. I mean, yes, there was a little bit less time on the clock. I think it was 14 seconds as opposed to 17 seconds. But Jesus Christ, we ran a yard, not even. And it took us fucking 14 seconds to get up and snap the ball. You can blame it on Tyrod. You should. But at the same time, let's go, dude. 14 seconds to get to the, like, the Jets fucking threw that long ass pass. We're able to sprint down the field and snap the ball with 1 second left to kill the clock. Oy. All right. No worries. So, Zerline, Greg the Leg, is the first Giants opponent to tie a game on the final play of the fourth quarter and kick a game winner in overtime since Dallas's Billy Cundiff on September 15th, 2003. The first of those was a 52-yarder, and the second was a 25-yarder. Cowboys won 35-32. I vividly remember that game because it was against Parcells. I was like, I can't believe Parcells, the freaking Cowboys coach. And we had that fucking game in the bag. And to blow it in that kind of fashion, I think I had to go. Did I go into work the next day or for an interview the next day? Or I think I went to like an ESPN audition the next day. But I was just like, ugh. And that was just the beginning of the end. I mean, that season as well, it was all downhill from there. We went 4-12. Kerry Collins cut. Jim Fossil fired. But it led to the rebirth, right? 2004 with Eli and Tom Coughlin. So maybe this is like a 20-year cycle where like we're going to get all the bad juju out, the bad vibes out after this season, and there'll be another rebirth in 2024, right? So that's the Giants-Jets game. Ugh.